Alright, welcome back to Teal House Farm. Today we are at the very end, finally, of our never-ending quarantine before Annie's surgery. Her surgery actually got pushed back one more time last week, which was really aggravating, but it was only by a couple days. Had something, it's a long story, and it's all the hospital's fault, basically. But anyway, the light is at the end of the tunnel, and so instead of eating my emotions, I'm a type of person that likes to can my emotions. So today we are going to do some canning, and I think this will be a fun one. It's going to be really easy for the younger girls to help with because there's not really a lot of really hot stuff like there usually is with pressure canning. We are going to can dried chili beans to make them into canned regular chili beans, but we're not going to like pre-soak them first. I got this idea from the 1870s homestead. She just recently posted a video of her doing this and says that this is the only way that she's really ever done it. Has been doing it this way a very long time, and I was like, wow, you know, what a time saver. And did a little bit of research. Doesn't seem to be any concerns about safety, even though this typically the recommended method is to soak first. But there didn't seem to be anything out there saying that if you didn't soak first that it was not safe. So we're going to try it this way and see how we like it.
I'm gonna help, Mama.
Yep, Annie's going to help. Why don't you go get a hair tie so you don't get your hair in your
I have a
beans.
hair tie right here.
Oh, perfect.
Ow, ow.
Ow, 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 ow. How about I give you a bun?
No.
A big bun right on the top of your head.
No, I like no, don't give me a big bun. I want like
Ponytail. Give me a spin. Very nice.
I want to.
Well, actually, go over to the table because this one we're going to do at the table. So to make our dry canned chili beans here, dry canning is not the right word. Dry canning would mean we were doing it with absolutely no liquid. We're canning dried beans without pre-soaking them. I like a chili that has a mixture of beans. So I have 5 pounds worth of pinto. I've got red beans and Great Northern beans. I just like a variety, you know, variety's the spice of life. And then we're going to mix up a powdered chili seasoning to go with the beans, and then top them with some hot boiling water and put them in the canner. This should be super easy.
I'm gonna put these on right here.
I'm warming the jars in the oven. 1870s homestead actually did not warm her jars, or she didn't mention that she had warmed her jars. They may have, she does a ton of canning videos and they're all really, really good. So she may assume that the people who are watching already know about the risks of putting really hot water into cold jars and that they would know that her jars are already warm, but I don't really know. But I don't know for sure, so I want to specify that I am specifically warming my jars. I have washed and sterilized them and then keeping them warm in the oven when we put the beans in, and then with the boiling water we don't have any risk that we actually explode a jar from adding boiling water to a cold jar. And I'm going to can both half pints and quarts today, so I'm going to be using both of my canners. Ready?
Yeah, we're doing these.
Okay, so we're doing both quart jars, which are the big ones.
I'm gonna help.
You will in just a minute, okay? Quart jars, which are the big ones, and pint jars that are the small ones. Okay, Annie is going to make one big scoop. So this is a 1 cup. She's gonna put 1 cup of dry beans into each of the big jars, and a half cup of dry beans into each of the small jars. Go.
Let's go.
Make sure your cup's full all the way. Ivy can help you.
No, it's not full. No, it's not full. Here, I'll show you this. You go 2 in, now out. There you go.
Okay, into here. Good job. while Ivy is finishing that up for me, I want to show you my 2 canners. So I have a 22 quart T-FAL and a 23 quart PRESTO. Basically the same. This one is a little bit taller, which allows it to be a 23 quart. If you are new to canning, that does not mean I can fit 23 quart jars in it. That's the total liquid volume. I can fit 7 quart jars in both of these. So the extra quart rating, it doesn't really make a difference, except if you're stacking pint jars on top of each other. This one, they fit more comfortably. They're also different in the types of tops that they have. So the PRESTO has a weighted gauge. So I actually put a weight on it to hold the steam in. And it's got a gauge to mark the pressure inside. But the T-FAL has a snap gauge. You always snap it all the way down. You let it vent, and then you snap it all the way down to the 3 to allow it to build up pressure. That's the main difference. What I like about this is that I don't have to put my fingers over the hot steam to drop a weight on it and feel like I'm going to burn myself. I get to keep them away and click it close. What I don't like about the T-FAL, you'll notice that this gauge is broken. I have the replacement here. I'm going to fix it really quick here before we go. It took me 8 months to get the right replacement for this. It was an absolute pain. And honestly, if the pandemic hadn't happened, I would have just given up and thrown away that canner because I have the second one. But the pandemic made me kind of like, about wanting to keep up my, big canning capabilities and having 2 canners. So I stuck with it and I finally got it replaced. But it took so long because the company that makes the T-FAL is not an American-based company. The parts, it was hard to communicate with somebody. I had to go through a lot of channels to finally get somebody that knew what they were talking about, and then they sent me the wrong part. It took like 2 or 3 months to get it. It was the wrong part. It took 2 or 3 months to have it sent back, processed, and another part sent to me, and then that part was broken. I had to send that back, and 2 to 3 months later got the replacement, which I have now, which is a pressure gauge that is not broken. The PRESTO, however, is an American-based company, and I've actually already ordered a second gauge for it just to have on hand in case that ever happens again, and it took a week to get the replacement gauge from them. It was so easy. So as far as canning goes, these are both great canners. I'll link them both below. They're both about the same price. They're both the same size, really. Just know that I like the dial better on this, but if you ever need a replacement part, man, that was hard. This is an American company. Replacement parts are right here in the US. It was very easy to get what I needed. 12 months and 3 seconds later, my new gauge is on. It's actually not even the same gauge, which is kind of annoying, but it'll work because it's still a pressure gauge. I just have to, you have to know that the 11 pounds pressure is 1 dot over the 2. Each number represents 5 pounds. So it's not as easy to read as that. So another thing I don't like. Our jars are ready. We are boiling some fresh water, and Ivy is just going to fill the jars up with the hot water to just underneath the rings.
All the way full?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take forever. Oops.
We have vented each one for 10 minutes. I want them synced up time-wise, so we're gonna drop the weight. This is the part I don't like. Cut! And we will click this one down. And we have to watch. We have to get them up to 11 pounds pressure on each gauge, and then I'll start the timer. I want them to be synchronized just because it'll be easier timer-wise. The half pint canner, which is this one, is 75 minutes. The quart one, which is that one, is 90 minutes. But the timer does not start until they are up to pressure. There they are, looking lovely, nice color. They smell great. So I used 5 pounds of beans and it made exactly 7 quarts and let's see, that's 9 pints. I had maybe like less than a quarter cup of beans left in the bowl. So that was like perfect amount. And these will be great for throwing in chilies or really any Mexican dish that we might enjoy. And they're on the shelf ready to go. Thanks so much for watching. We will catch you guys next time.
Hold on, I like it. Here, do it to me. I'm gonna do it. Hey, can you
Show me how you do your beans.